She's kind of howling out there this morning. The wind's a howling and the wolves they're howling too. Yeah, they're at the door here, eh? Maybe stranded in here. Hey, the topic this morning, necessity. You ever heard of necessity? Well, she's the mother of invention. And this applies to Gator's way of doing things a lot. Because don't forget, folks, he doesn't have short front hands for nothing, eh? Can't reach the wallet. Hey, it has to do with, where is it? Right there. Hang on, folks. I gotta take you off the tripod here. I hope it adjusts. See, I even have a, where is it? Right there. Press down. Ooh. Yeah, that's a spare water pump. But one day, I was gonna change my water pump. And I had to take the, hang on, I'll bring you back. I'll put you back on the tripod here. Watch it there. Maybe some waves. We had a lot of bad weather on the East Coast there, and a lot of waves left over. Right, whoa. Okay. Yeah. When you don't got a tool, I went to, well, here where I live, we have what they call Canadian Tire. Okay, they don't sell only tires, sell different tools and things. And well, they used to be pretty good in tools, but now I guess it's because there's more money in the appliance market. They're selling, I don't know, everything but the kitchen sink to do with inside the house, like and bread and milk, and oh my God, I don't know if they even sell tires anymore. But anyways, has nothing to do with this. It has to do with, I went there to get this tool. You don't know what it is yet. None to be had. I went to Lowe's, which have a tool department. So there's nowhere around me, so I went on the internet. Well, the closest I could get is 1 week away, and I was in the process, like my water pump is failing. It's leaking press down, eh? So I gotta press down. It's antifreeze, eh? So I gotta fix it. So necessity being what it is. Ta-da! See, I made a wrench. It's not the end of the world. I drilled a whole bunch of small holes at the bottom here. Well, small. I see one here that was over drilled on this side here. It looks like about 3/8. But anyways, so I used a grinder on this side and this side, just a chop blade on the grinder, and once I drilled the bottom here, I cut it with the grinder, took the pieces off. Use the file a little bit. See this, folks? And see here? Hang on, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. See, it says off, and then there's an arrow right here. It's because when you put this on the nut, and you got a hammer on this, boom. There's only one way to go. One way you're tightening it, and one way you're loosening it, eh? And there ain't no way you're gonna get a normal wrench in there. You gotta get something that's not thick at all. So this, I know they sell these, but there was none available. I had to wait 10 days. I ain't got time to wait 10 days. So come with me, folks. We'll go, and you're gonna see where this goes. Those of you that haven't endeavored, hang on. You gotta watch yourself here, eh? See? The truck's here. I prepared a little bit. So you got my fancy light here, Astro light. Hang on. I'm gonna turn it on now so you can see. There. I don't know how charged up this is. And here we go. Oh, am I in the way here? Get my big belly on top here. There you go. Oh my God, I can't see nothing. But anyways, it fits down there. Yeah, I'm gonna go from this side maybe. There's too much. Hang on. I'm gonna show you there. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. There. Hang on. We're gonna. I'm not too good at this, at this camera business. Hang on. There. See? Can you see the wrench on that? On the nut down there? See? That's what that does is that takes the flex plate, not the flex plate, the propeller. It takes the propeller on the engine. Anyways, you know what I mean. It takes it off the water pump, so then you can reach the water pump. But anyways, hang on, I'm gonna shut this off here because the story continues after this, My God, never ends, Hang on. These are getting excited this morning there, or is it me that's making use like that? So okay, so continuing. Hey, I put my big nose in here after the motor business. Woo. Yeah, I don't know. It's like this. Don't be like this when I'm like that. Hey, I'm gonna set myself down. I'm gonna tell you a few instances where Mother Nature, Mother Necessity was in the, well, had to do with something we were doing. As in we're on the farm, okay? And we got the chopper and we're dealing with a shaft, a 2-inch shaft, okay? So you gotta get to the far side of it's a bearing, just a roller bearing, just a normal bearing. You had to go to the inside of that to take a piece off. But we couldn't take the inner race of that bearing. We broke the outer bearing race. Like we just we pulled it with a puller, and it pulled the bearings right off the inner race, and we put a big mother puller on that and we broke it. Now what are we gonna do? So I says to my son-in-law's father, I said, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna cut the race. We took a hammer and chisel, took a grinder, made a slot in the inner race, and then bang, and it broke the inner race. Then we pulled it off. Sometimes you get ideas, but they don't work out, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Woo, I'm a little bit crooked here, I'm going this way instead of that way. So there's all sorts of instances in life. I scratched my leg here. You don't have to see that. Yeah, it's all sorts of instances in life where you gotta figure something else out. Another instance on the farm that I think about right now while I'm talking to you. One time, there was a nut in the front wheels, a four-wheel drive. It's not a John Deere, but a Ford, New Holland, whatever. Front-wheel drive, the front axle, it's got a nut on it about that size, Wow, we don't got no socket for that. We got lots of sockets. We go up to about, I don't know, 3-inch, but this is a 4 or 4.5 incher. It's a big, real big. So you know what we did? We made a socket. We took some plate and heated it up with the torches, and we went around the nut. I'm going to tell you why we had to do this. Like we could like tighten that nut, but this had to be torqued, and torqued quite high. A torque, I think it was 250 pounds per square inch or something like that. So we had the nut, so we went on the vise there and we wrapped plate around the nut and we welded it. That was square on the surface, eh? So we welded a plate on that. Then we took a 1-inch socket. You know, you always in your socket boxes, you always have extra sockets, eh? Well, we welded the socket more or less in the center, eh? Not a machine shop here, eh? Welded the socket real well to the plate that's with that nut, that socket that we made, eh? So now we have a 1-inch drive. I think it was 4 1/4, 4.5 inch nut driver socket. Well, we made it. Like we were remote, eh? Like an hour and a half from Sudbury and just as far from North Bay, if not for, no, it's about the same thing to North Bay. So an hour and a half drive, it takes you maybe 3/4 of an hour to make the socket, eh? So you make it. And it's probably a lot cheaper too, because if you're talking a 4.5 inch socket, though they would have had it at Sudbury, because a lot of mines up there, eh? And they're dealing with a lot of, hang on, I look kind of oddball, eh? Well, I always look a little bit odd, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways, it's just to say, oh, and this, I come to this idea, Steve Robb made a, from the Steve Robb show there, or whatever he calls himself there, but Steve Robb, anyway. He made a stint on tools, eh, and making a, I think it was a pulley holder, and then he showed us the one that he bought. Wow, if I make a tool for a purpose, I'm not gonna buy another one. I know they sell these, eh? But that's good. I took the pulley, I took the propeller off the engine, maybe 3 times now on that engine. I took it off when I switched the engine. Was it last year or the year before? Well, you guys remember, anyways. I used it then. I used it a few other times, but that's just hung on the garage wall, and I know it's there, and if ever I need it, well, I have it. But hey, no, not worth investing any more than that wrench that I got. So okay, folks, stick in there, boy. I got some good ones coming. And I don't know, I may have to sleep in the garage tonight, because the wolves are still out there. Hey, with the wind, the big wind. So minus, I don't know what. It's real cold out there. Hey, I salute you all. Keep the comments coming in, and we'll see you in the next one.